welcome to the 2025 Grower Stipend Q&A info session. Next slide. Just for best practices for this meeting, all questions will be reviewed and answered at the end. You can go ahead and enter them in the chat or use the Q&A function. And we're going to do some intros. Trina, would you like to introduce yourself to begin?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm helping backstage here, but my name is Trina Pizzardi. I'm the Senior Program Officer with NAFSA and oversee all the programs here. We have a wonderful team and I'll let them introduce themselves. I'll be off camera most of the time and Maria and Caitlin will be taking the lead here. Have a wonderful day and I hope you guys enjoy this presentation and apply.
And Wushu, I'm Caitlin Walsh. I'm the Upper Midwest Indigenous Seedkeepers Network Coordinator. So thanks y'all for joining us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mireya Blanco. I'm Apache and Raramuri. My family is from Chihuahua, Mexico, and southern New Mexico. I am the Southwest Indigenous Seedkeeper Coordinator here at NAFSA. Thank you. And again, if you have questions, you can enter them in the chat and we will answer them at the end. So just a little bit about us. Our mission, we believe in empowering communities as they foster traditional Indigenous food practices to ensure sustained well-being for future generations. Our vision, we envision a future where Indigenous people exercise their inherent right to self-determination, fully controlling their traditional foodways. Rooted in our ancestral knowledge, we strive to ensure the persistence of food security, cultural continuity, and environmental sustainability. The mission of the Indigenous Seedkeepers Network, SKIN for short, is to nourish and assist the growing seed sovereignty movement across Turtle Island. As a national network, we leverage resources and cultivate solidarity and communication with a matrix of regional grassroots tribal seed sovereignty projects. We accomplish this mission by providing educational resources, mentorship training, outreach, and advocacy support on seed policy issues, and organizing national and regional events and convenings to connect many communities who are engaging in this vital work. We aim to create a collaborative framework and correlation for ethical seed stewardship and Indigenous seeds guidelines for tribal communities to guide them as they protect their seeds from patenting and bioprivacy. We support the creation of solutions-oriented programs for adaptive resilient seed systems within tribal communities to enhance the creative capacity to continue to evolve as the face of our Mother Earth changes. So about the Growers Stipend, the Native American Food Sovereignty Alliance is excited to announce 29 Grower Stipends for the upcoming growing season. Through our micro-granting initiatives and our program Indigenous Seedkeepers Network, we are committed to redistributing resources and revitalizing Indigenous food systems by directly supporting Indigenous growers. We recognize that many seed keepers and growers often engage in this work during their personal time or in a voluntary capacity, often with limited resources. These stipends are intended to honor and support the critical work of expanding Indigenous seed access and sovereignty in communities across the United States. Next slide. So who should apply? Individuals who are beginning or building their seed keeping or growing journey. New and emerging growers defined as individuals with 7 or fewer years of experience stewarding seed that is culturally significant to their community, and individuals who face significant barriers in their seed sovereignty or grower efforts. For example, access to land, resources, mentorship, culturally relevant seed, or time. Next slide.
And I could add, Maria, quick, so that
Yeah.
those that have applied for grower stipends in the past, the application will look really similar, and this is kind of continuing that opportunity and taking in feedback that we heard during listening sessions in 2022, 2023, and in engaging with our networks so that we can provide support to emerging seedkeepers and folks just kind of getting started in seed work. So That's all I wanted to add.
Thank you. 1 second. Okay, our stipends, each recipient will receive a one-time grower stipend of $3,000, which can be used at the grower's discretion to support their seed keeping work. All selected applicants will receive an equal financial support. Individuals are eligible to receive one grower stipend per calendar year. This can include, but not limited to, equipment purchases, supplies and tools, and people power. So the requirements for the stipend are you must be indigenous to Turtle Island. This does include those that are unenrolled with like Mexico diaspora, including myself. You just have to be a citizen of the United States. You have to be engaged in seed keeping or growing that supports indigenous food and or seed sovereignty. And you must have 7 or fewer years of experience as a grower. And then finally, you must submit a complete application. The selection process, 29 total stipends are available. All eligible applicants will be entered into a randomized selection process, such as a lottery, and the individuals can only receive one grower stipend per calendar year. I'm getting a notification that there's maybe a lag on my end. Can you guys hear me clearly?
I'm hearing you, and attendees, if you could maybe do a thumbs up in the chat, or let us know if you're not hearing us.
Cool.
I saw a hand raised.
Yeah, I think that was the thumbs up. Thank you.
Okay. Thumbing it up with hands. Okay.
Awesome. So
Thanks.
important deadlines. The application. Oh, sorry. So important deadlines to note: the application closes May 16th by 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we will notify recipients by email by May 22nd. And now we enter our Q&A. You can enter it in the chat or raise your hand, or enter it in the Q&A question. Oh, the chat is disabled. I am so sorry. Give me a moment. I was wondering why we weren't getting questions. Let's see.
Just too thorough, Maria.
I know. There we
Everyone for your
go.
patience.
Okay, it is open now. I apologize for that. And feel free to raise your hand. Oh, Lada, or is this from earlier, or you have a question? Okay, from Zoe, and if I mispronounce, I apologize. Will the stipend be reimbursement or paid at the end of the season? Trina, how does that work? It's it's just a stipend that was given right away, right? So they can use it to how you want, not as a reimbursement. So you will be given the money. If upon selection, you will receive a notification, a contract, an agreement, you sign it, and we will disperse the funds immediately. So for a longtime grower of non-traditional foods, not from our heritage, but then less than 7 years of growing our heritage foods, does that qualify? Kaylin, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, it sounds like it. Because again, this is trying to focus on people who are growing culturally important seeds, ancestral seeds. So it sounds like that. So I would just be thorough in your application. So since again, the screening is just, okay, are you eligible based on the criteria we just went over? And then you'll get entered into the lottery for the final decisions. So I would just be really clear.
Okay, next one. For the question, which tribal or indigenous community will your work support? What does that look like? Your stipend just needs to predominantly serve a tribal community, either yours or the local one. However, if there is other individuals such as, Afro-Indigenous, other BIPOC communities that are involved in this serving, we believe that also counts. It just has to be primarily Indigenous, if that makes sense. And then next one. Will we be required to be part of any evaluation for participating? Can either Trina or Caitlin respond to that one?
I can respond to that one.
Great.
Yes, we will ask you to fill out a pre and post survey, but that's it. There's not a huge commitment for evaluation. We just want this money to get to you to use as quickly as you need it to support your growing season. So we may ask you to fill out a quick survey. That's about it.
Thank you. And I just copied the link to the grower stipend application.
Thank you, Maria.
This is probably another Trina question. Is the stipend taxable income?
Yes, you will have to fill out a W-9 form, so you will receive, it is taxable.
And then the question, is there a timeline for use on the grant? And so, yeah, again, this is a one-time stipend. So you receive it and you have funds, and then we'll follow up, like Trina said, but there wouldn't be a limit because you would just be receiving the funds. There isn't, like a spend down date. Is that accurate, Trina? Anything you'd add?
Yeah, totally correct. And we want you to use it in the season that you're applying for. So like right now, everyone's season's different, but we want you to use it like immediately for immediate needs, and and then we don't ask for reporting, but we don't ask for like a hardcore reporting, but what we do ask for is to share pictures, and all that information you're asking will be given to you when you receive, if you are a recipient of the grant. So we'll be more thorough with those details, and those will, yeah, it'll be forthcoming. Um, so it's just a little premature to answer those right now, but they will be given to you as a grantee, all that information. Right now, the questions would be, I think, important are to answer if you're eligible or not, whether you should be put into the pool or not, and things like that. Maria, can you cover the lottery?
Yeah. So the lottery, we're trying to make this as equitable as possible. So we will initially review your application to make sure you meet the criteria. However, all the ones that are a yes and you made it through, we are going to enter you in a randomized lottery. So that's how we will choose our 29 recipients, if that makes sense. A couple other questions. Is it taxable to a 510c3? I'm going to answer this, and Trina and Caitlin just chime in if I'm wrong. No, this is for individuals. And if you happen to have a business or LLC and you're new, that is a different story. However, that is not still taxable to your business or LLC, if that makes sense. It is for you as an individual. It is not for organizations or nonprofits. Did I say it right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
You
like in
hit it
past
right.
years. Oh, I'm sorry, Trina, did I talk over you?
Go ahead, Caitlin.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think it just in past years, this particular opportunity was designed to reach individuals doing this work that maybe aren't receiving other compensation, just to make sure that, folks are able to have the resources that they need, and again, up to the individual's discretion on how they want to spend that. So, because there aren't, it's a response to not having a ton of opportunities where you could just receive direct funding for the work you're doing without having to have a fiscal sponsor or some other entity that way. So this is
Yeah.
a particular targeted stipend opportunity.
Awesome. And we got queue. I'm going to ask them, Caitlin, will you answer the next two? Will we be required to submit any budgets or receipts?
Yeah, I think Trina answered that, and no, simply no.
Cool. Thank you. Um, Someone else said, if we encounter a problem in the application process, how can we contact people? I'm going to drop you Trina's email, but I also will drop my own as well. So if you encounter a problem with the application, please feel free to reach out to one of us. Next one is, it's regarding like, if the work applies in Mexico. So you can be Mexican Indigenous and apply and a US citizen. However, the community that you serve needs to be in the United States. Am I correct there, Trina?
Yeah, you have to be a citizen of the United States, and your work has to be here in the US, primarily serving Indigenous communities, tribal communities.
Thank you. Next one. My collective is applying for the community power grant. Would it be a conflict? Would it be conflicting if I apply as an individual for this grant? I don't think so, Trina. Do you want to answer that if they're applying to more than one NAFSA grant?
You're applying to the RFP events grant? Is that what you mean? Are you submitting a proposal for the RFP event?
It looks like their collective is, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good question. So is the individual stipend you're applying, if you're applying as an individual, is it for your personal project? Or is it for the collective's project?
Yeah, it's possible to allow a question via voice. Just raise your hand and I will unmute you.
Yeah, and so for that question about the collective, so again, as long as the application is directed towards an individual and it's not necessarily, it's wanting to support projects or making sure that your impact is reaching community, but it's not for any particular project or nonprofit or collective, then I don't think it should. And I would just put a good amount of info clarifying that in the application so it's really clear that you're demonstrating eligibility.
Yeah, and to add to that, we want the funding to be more spread out, right? So we don't want both funding to just go to one organization. You're right. Someone's raising their hand.
Hi, sorry. The question was for me is I am applying as an individual for an individual project, and my collective is applying for the other grant. So yeah, that was my question. But I think you answered it, so thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Did we miss anyone in the chat?
Laura, did you have a question still?
I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right, just
You're
wanted to make.
welcome.
Right,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, sorry about that. This may be a
You're
tricky
okay.
question. I think I know the answer. So if you say there's only one stipend available per calendar year, are there more stipends to come?
Yeah, there's other stipends. We have another one in the fall called Healing Meals.
Oh, Trina, I accidentally muted you when I was trying to mute an attendee. My apologies.
There, there's a healing meal stipend in the fall, and then there's also a field day micro grant in the fall. And right now we also have an RFP open for events that closes May 9th. So your question, only one stipend available per calendar year. It doesn't mean you won't be eligible for the others, but for the grower stipend, you can only get one in one calendar year. And that is because that kind of reflected last year. We had 2 grower stipends last year. So that's where that one's coming from. But for this year, we only have one. So thank you for catching that. So you would only be eligible for this one, and we're only launching one this year. So you can still apply for the others.
And then Trina, please add more, but you know, the grower stipend was kind of a continuation of a core offering that we have had. And I would imagine we'd continue to offer the grower stipend, dependent on funding, and then also just what the community wants to see from us. And so, again, keep letting us know what you need, and that really helps us continue to advocate with our funders. And yeah, Trina, anything else you would add since on that?
Yeah, can you drop the needs assessment in the chat? So we also have a needs assessment going. If you guys could help fill that out, that really helps us determine what you all need. But again, she is right. If there is funding available, we might launch a fall grower stipend. Yeah, there will be more other micro grants unfolding toward the fall, so look out for those. We have someone raising their hand.
I saw, and then it went down again.
Darn it.
Hi, Letta.
Hi, how are you? Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm curious, I think you guys are recording the meeting today, right?
Yes, correct.
And so the chat will be included in there, or should we load the links that you're providing now?
You should download them. I don't know how it works when they put it on YouTube. You should just copy it, or send an email to one of us, and we can send it to you that way as well.
Okay, thank you.
It's on our website as well, too. So if you go on our website and find it under Growers Stipends.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's not letting us copy, maybe.
The webinar function is a little odd. So let's
Yeah,
see.
Zoom has kind of changed some of these things. So I've done Zoom for years,
I
but it's
know.
different to
Well,
navigate these days.
here's how I can help you all. If anyone needs a link to the grower stipend, drop your email in the chat, and we'll just send a email with the link very simply.
Yeah, I definitely recommend joining NAFSA's mailing list. So if you just go to the website, you can sign up for the newsletter for general NAFSA news. And then if you join the ISKIN listserv, which Maria and I oversee, we'll send out more targeted things to the ISKIN regional networks.
Yeah, and I will also copy that invitation as well. We just gather your email and send you guys opportunities and such. We have upcoming webinars that are very exciting, that we will be facilitating, that people will be hosting, and that will be available nationally. And I got your email, Lotta, so I will email you the links that we talked about today. Great. If no one else has any questions, we can wrap this up and reclaim a few minutes of our hour. Thank you all for attending and for your wonderful questions. And again, if you have any other additional questions after this, you can email Trina or I or Caitlin, and we can send that. If you did want us to email you the links that we discussed today, just drop your email in the chat before you leave, and we will send an email.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your time. Reach out if you need anything.
Artlist.io